Okay. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, depending on where you call home. My name is Hugh Peterson. I'm the product manager for our DoseView family of water phantoms. And today I'm going to be just going over the DoseView 1D software. The DoseView software for the 1D Phantom. You'll see on the screenshot here that we've actually integrated our 1D software into our DoseView software that used to cover the strictly the DoseView 3D Phantom, our 3D water phantom. But we've integrated it, taken some of the functionality from the 3D side, and incorporated that into our 1D software. And quite honestly, it's a great leap from our if you've ever used our existing pre-existing 1D software. It's definitely much more user friendly and intuitive as compared to the old system, and has a lot more functionality. Now the question is, will my PowerPoint move forward? There we go. And something is, oh well. Sorry, I must have hit a slide that I didn't mean to. But anyway, this is being recorded. A couple pieces of housekeeping. The presentation here is being recorded, so if you are signed up, you will receive a link, and you can share that with colleagues who may not have been able to attend, or you can kind of review it at your leisure as well. Just some quick information on Standard Imaging. We actually have been around since 1989. We celebrated our 30-year anniversary a couple years ago. We're based in Middleton, Wisconsin. And you probably are very familiar with our electrometers, our ion chambers. We also have a number of different software packages. PIPS Pro for monthly QA for the TG142 tests. We've got our I Am Sure, which are our secondary QA check for MU checks. We also have our Adaptivo, which is our patient QA system, as well as a number of different types of phantoms. Our Lucy Phantom for stereotactic. You're probably familiar with our well chambers, our HDR 1000 or HDR 1000 Plus. Again, our electrometers, our Max, our Supermax electrometers, as well as our X-Raden line of ion chambers. But we also have a full line of water phantoms. We've been manufacturing water phantoms for about 20 years now in 1D, 2D, and 3D configurations. And like I mentioned, we incorporated the new software to for the 1D scanner into our DoseView software, and that's kind of what I'm going to be going through today. This is by no means meant to be a full demo, just kind of an overview. So if you're interested in taking a deeper look at it, please feel free to check our website. There's a rep finder on there, or you can email sales@standardimaging.com, and you'll be directed to our specific representative for your region, and we can set up a little more informative, deeper dive into the software. But like I mentioned, we're newly updated. It's a new updated DoseView software. We integrated to the 3D. It uses the similar functionality and the web-based layout of the DoseView 3D software, so navigation is much better and functionality is much improved. And now it's a single software package to perform all your water phantom operations should you look into our 3D Phantom as well. It has full integration with our existing tools, obviously our 1D Phantom, but then it will be able to be utilized with both our Max 4000 and Max 4000 Plus electrometers, so both generations of those, as well as our Supermax 2-channel electrometer can be utilized also. A little bit on the hardware here. We've got the ability to do 3-point leveling within the water phantom. We also have the pendant, as you can see on the picture in the left, which gives you the ability to control the movement of the detector in more of a manual way with up-down movement in fast, slow, and step mode. So you can precisely position that probe before your actual scanning begins with the software. And there's a readout on the pendant as well for you'll always know the positioning of the detector at any time. But like I said, I wanted to jump into the software here, and it's got a web-based interface. It is a separate application, but it has a look and feel of a web app. It's easy left to right, top to bottom navigation for the software, similar to like anything you've been using for the last probably 30 years since Windows and Mac software came out. We like to say we have no hidden features. Everything is kind of at your fingertips. You don't have to go digging for different things, different tabs, different folders, different things like that. Everything is kind of right there for you. And we got very intuitive menus for not only the scan queue up and the measurement, but also for the post-scan processing and analysis as well. So with that fast queue setup, you can do all your depth scans for all energies and modalities. We have conversion of the depth scans to dose for getting PDDs and your export of your PDD tables, your generation of those tables. We have a selectable force point at Dmax, so you can always be assured that you get a measurement point at that specific Dmax position. And we also have a component in the software for single point measurements as well as your depth curve measurements. So I'm going to go ahead now and just kind of jump into the software, kind of give you a quick overview of that. As you can see, here's our title screen. You can either enter into the DoseView 3D if you're using a 3D Phantom, but again, in this case, the 1D software. I'll bring that up. And basically, you live kind of by the tabs here. You've got your setup tab, your measure tab, and your analyze tab, and then you have your basic setups here. Once these are set up, it's kind of a set and forget kind of a situation, unless you want to add something. But your clinics and machines are here. You can add and edit and archive any machine, or I'm sorry, any clinics. So you set up your different clinics. If you've got multiple sites you're working with, you can set them all up here. And then, for example, if I have my demo clinic here, I've got a couple of Linacs that I've added, a demo Linac, and then also something listed as a TB21 TrueBeam, just for sample. And again, anything that any machine that may be decommissioned can be archived, and those machines will always be available to you. And they don't necessarily, you won't delete the information, but that the information will always be there. And that's something that goes throughout the software. Your detectors, your electrometers, your scan measurements themselves, everything can be archived, and they're always still there. They're just out of sight, out of mind, and you can always restore those as needed. But beyond the clinics and machines, we've got the detectors themselves. So this is where you can add your ion chambers or diodes or scintillation detectors. We've got a couple of scintillation detectors we offer as well. You just enter in that name, what the manufacturer might be. We're kind of agnostic there as far as that goes. We can use our chambers, any chambers from IBA or detectors from any other manufacturers as well. The type of whether it's a cylindrical chamber, a parallel plate, a diode, or other. It's nice to know too, if you do choose diode, it will not allow you later on when you're setting up your hardware. It will now not allow you to turn on a bias voltage. So it's kind of a self-protective measure to protect not only the diode itself and the detector from bias voltage, but also the front end of the electrometer. So those are just a quick safety feature that we built into the software. Putting in your inner diameter of the ion chamber for later on as you do those dose conversions. Serial number, pretty much self-explanatory as far as what goes into your profiles for your detectors. Same for the electrometers. You can set up your different electrometers. Again, like I said, we work with the Max 4000, Max 4000 Plus, and the Super Max, our 2-channel electrometer. And similarly, add those as well. One thing it asks for the serial number, and there is a serial number check, which is nice. So if you're using a specific electrometer that you want to use, it will do that. It'll check back to the unit itself to make sure you're using the correct serialized electrometer. I'm going to jump over scan queues real quick and just kind of jump to preferences. This is kind of self-explanatory as well, showing you the different date formats you can use, different time formats you can use. Whether you're using period for a decimal separator like we do here in the States, or if international customers a lot of time use a comma for a decimal separator, so you can make that choice. And your CSV delimiters too for your Excel exports, semicolons or commas, whatever is utilized within your particular region. Then jumping back to scan queues, one thing we've done, is this kind of comes over from our 3D side. We've built the scan queue generation to be very, very user friendly and intuitive. I'll do an example here. So we've got a general. You'll see a lot of these components here are not set, and they'll turn blue and say complete when they are ready to go, which is nice. You always kind of know what needs to be addressed before you can save and actually complete that generation of that scan queue. So, for example, I'll do a test 9 MeV, a description. I'll do a 9 MeV 10 by 10. What your medium is, whether you want to measure an air or water, your modality. In this case, I'm doing electrons. We can do triple F, and we can do, of course, photons. What your field definers are, JAWS or MLCs or stereotactic cones if you're doing stereotactic and small field, or the electron cones for electron. And then if there's any modifiers in the beam. So since I'm doing a 9 MeV, I'm going to choose an electron modality here. It highlights the electron cones and then gives me the ability to choose either any of the modifiers, which I won't use for this. But my energies, I've got all my energies listed here. You can easily add a new one if you want. So I don't already take those off as need be, but I want to do just 9 for this particular one here. Choose my field size here. I just, for sake of speed, I just want to do a 10 by 10. My scan types, of course, this is just a depth scan because it is only a 1D phantom. My scan mode here. Here's where I can choose that force point at Dmax. And I can choose my zone starts here. I just want to maybe go down to 100 millimeters here. And you'll see here we've got a couple of different choices here. You can choose to either go up or down. I'll choose to go from bottom up. And then we also have what we call zones here, and then we have a single zone or a multiple zone. And the multiple zone gives me the ability to change the resolution in the more critical. If I want to have a higher resolution in the Dmax region, I can do that, and you'll see that here where I'm doing a 1 millimeter resolution in the zone number 1, and then my zone 2, I'm doing a 2 millimeter resolution as it's not being as critical. So I can save that, and that's basically now I have my my scan down here ready to go. So I can move over to my measure, and here's where I set up my my hardware. So I want to, in this case, nice thing we have here, we always have demo mode, so you can always, since you're typically only using this maybe monthly to do your monthly checks, we have demo mode. You can kind of jump into the software, kind of play around with it, just kind of refamiliarize yourself with it if need be. So it gives you that functionality, or you can connect to the device 1D, which is your actual hardware. So in this case, I'm going to do my my Max 4000. I need to connect that electrometer, and then I can initialize the water phantom. I can choose my detectors. Since I'm using a Max 4000 electrometer, it will gray out the reference because it's only a single channel. If I was using my Supermax electrometer, it would give me the option to add a reference detector as well. And so now you'll see, similarly as we did in the scan queue setup, we're turning blue here, showing you that things are ready. If they're gray, they're not ready to go. I need to zero my electrometer. And once that's zeroed, then I can set my bias. And now you'll see that my bias is applied and that turned blue and ready to go. And your position here, you can you have the ability to go to a specific position. You can go to your origin. You can set your origin here. These are all similar things that you'll see on the actual hardware pendant itself as well. But now you can see that all my components here are blue, so I'm ready to do some measurements. So I can go to my Q here. I can load my specific Q. And like I said, in my situation here, I just want to do my one measurement. Here it's telling you to check your dose rates, and that's one thing I did not show. My dose rates here, there are presets, defaults here, but you can adjust those as well. Your settling time, your sample time, and your dose rate as well can all be set individually. Now here I can zero my electrometer again if need be. I already zeroed it, so I don't have to do that again. I can actually normalize, so I want to normalize to my Dmax for that particular 9 MeV energy. So I go to that position. It'll move my my detector. I can then normalize with the beam on, close that, and I'm ready to scan. So this is my start scan. I can also reload a queue. So if I've got a queue here, I can reload those scans and rescan them if needed. And then I also have my my informational details here. So this is my scan queue, and obviously if there's more than one scan, you'll see a whole list of scans here. But in this case, it's just a single scan. I start my scan. You'll see here also that I've got a green box showing what my active scan is. I'm moving to a position. Now I'm at my depth. Now you're showing percentage of completion here as well. So kind of gives you some nice visual features as well to kind of know where you are in your scan queue, which particular scan is active right now, things like that. So as this scan completes, I'm just going to jump over to the analyze, and this is where I can maybe load a previously measured scan. Oh, that's not the right one. That's a photon scan, obviously. So I can clear my scan easily enough. There we go. So you'll see here you have my my sample scan that I've done previously. Got my point at Dmax here measured. You can see it kind of broke from the actual scan path and gave me that point at Dmax particularly. And you can see here also I've got my ion measurement. If I want to convert that to dose, I've got a number of different filters here that I can utilize for my post-scan processing. I've got a couple of smoothing filters here. I've got a point edit if I want to edit a specific point for some reason. I've got the normalize to a specific value. I can normalize it at Dmax. I can normalize it at a specific depth. I have the ability to do a shift if I want. And then I also, here's my my dose convert. And as I'd mentioned before, when we set up the detector, you also set up the diameter. So this will give you your calculation for your effective point of measurement, depending on your specific protocol, but then also will allow you to convert to dose. And since I don't have my normalization value set correctly as far as my lost my train of thought. Apologize about that. My practical range here, I don't have that set up, so I would not be able to do a dose conversion. But it's easy enough to get that and set that up accordingly. But you see now that I'm at 94% for my particular scan here, and when I finish my last couple points, you get that audible ding just telling you that either your scans are complete, or if you have to change your energy or change your field size, you'll get a dialog box telling you that that you need to make those particular changes. So let me clear that. I'm going to bring up today's scan. So now you can see I've got my for this particular scan, I do have enough depth to get my practical range. So if I wanted to convert that now to my dose, I can do my dose conversion. Now it's converted to dose, so I can take my dose measurements and use those PDDs now as to generate my PDD tables, and those are just done with your exports here. The export, we export to a number of different treatment planning systems. As you can see here, we can also export it into a PDD table. We can use those PDDs to convert to TPR as well. We can export them as just standard CSV files, particular DoseView format as well. If you've got a another computer that you want to do your scan analysis on, you can export those to DoseView and then import them on that other computer to be able to do your analysis. And that kind of gives you just like I said, a quick overview, show you how easy the scanning from going from your scan setup and your scan queues to your actual measurement to your actual analysis. So it's all very, very quick and easy to do as far as you're getting your depth measurements and your scan queues and your PDDs set up very easily. We also have a single point measurement component. Let me go back to measure, so I have one. Go to my single point, and then I can choose my different type of measurement. I can either do timed, or I can do trigger, or I can do continuous. So for example, for timed, if I want to do 5 measurement, repetition of 5 at a duration of 1, I can do that. I can choose my position. Say I want to do that at Dmax. I can go to that position. I want to do a point measurement again, choosing my electrometer. You can set up my energy, my field size. Temperature. You either do millimeters of mercury. So I've got all that functionality there. I can start my measurements. You can see here now I'm taking my five different measurements, my repetitions of 1 second measurements for the different positions, and you can set those up accordingly within the system. I can save that set point. I can start a new set of points as well. So they're saved successfully. Now I can go into my analyze if I wanted to say maybe we can load my points here. My different set points from the different dates I can take a look at. So I want to just load the one I just did today, and then I can export that to CSV. So the single point measurement is fairly straightforward. Not a lot to it, but it gives you the ability to get those point measurements and export them accordingly to CSV for your monthly QA requirements. So that's kind of a quick, like I said, I just want to do a quick overview of the software today. I don't want to keep you too long. Let me jump back here to my PowerPoint so I can kind of give you a quick summary. Like I said, it's a very easy left to right, top to bottom navigation. You've got quick queue set up, and there are some very easy copy and editing functions, which I didn't show you in the interest of time, but you can copy different queues and then change the energy, so you don't have to do a queue for each energy. You can just copy and edit that function. Again, no hidden features, kind of everything is right there for you, easily to utilize. Yeah, the full export of PDD tables. The stepper continuous scanning, that's actually comes over from the 3D. It is only step measurements in the DoseView 1D water phantom. If you're using the 3D water phantom and you want to do depth measurements, that can be done both step and continuous. You got the import functionality. Another thing I didn't mention, if you've got an older system that you want to analyze within the software here, say a PTW or IBA tank measurements that you want to take a look at, you can import those and view and analyze and compare those within the DoseView software as well. And then we got the very straightforward post-scan processing and metrics as well. But like I said, this is meant to be just a quick overview. If you want to see it more in depth, we'd certainly be happy to do that. You can contact either standardimaging.com directly at our website and find your representative there, or contact sales at standardimaging.com, and the sales group will contact you with your specific representative to get you more information and possibly set up some more time with the software. And it looks like I may have a question. Let's see. Do we have plans to include the UK and European protocols, IPEM and DIN, etc.? We do in future versions of the software. That's something we've been adding a few different ones along the way. We've added I think the Japanese specific protocol and the Indian protocol right now, but we are looking at the other protocols to add also. But let's see. Other than that, it doesn't look like there's any other questions. So I thank you very much for your time. And again, please don't hesitate to contact us if you have any questions. We'll be happy to work with you on those. And also, like I mentioned, you'll be getting an email with the link of this presentation, and you can feel free to review it again, share it with your colleagues who were not able to attend today, and you can take a look at it as well. Other than that, I thank you very much for your time. I hope you have a good rest of your day.